Hi, it's Jane. Day two of my exploration into what it means to be tender, um, to feel the love of the Divine Mother. And just gonna start off with I am definitely feeling some detox symptoms already. Like my head is foggy and I'm tired, so I don't feel like I'm thinking that clearly. So yeah, just bear with me, Um, but I did have like amazing insights today, so I'm going to share two. One is about boundaries. Okay, so um, to be tender with oneself means to be devoted, to hold sacred the parts, the things that you want to say yes to, right? Like to hold your true desires sacred. And what that requires is for you to say no to everything else. And like for example, in my life, I work as a guide or counselor. I I help people, and I want to help everyone. And I used to give like a lot of free readings, and also doing it unconsciously all the time. And it's good. It really it helps the other person, and I feel good serving. But in the long term, it's really robbing myself of true fulfillment, of really living my soul's purpose, and it robs the world because to to create okay, to do my best work, I have to be sustained in the long term. If I'm scattering my energy and giving it all away, then I'm going to get burnt out. And I also want to reach as many people as I can. So I'm going to start working actually on a program that can reach a lot of people so that I don't have to work with people one on one necessarily. But if I don't have the energy, the creative energy to make a program like that, because I'm always kind of giving away my time for free and scattering it, then my ability to, actually help a lot more people is diminished. So yeah, like having boundaries with your time and energy, and knowing that saying no to people that you want to help or please is actually a gift to not just yourself but the world. Yeah, you're not doing anyone any favors by thinking that you're indispensable. If it's not the highest thing for you to do to help someone, then that person, the universe will provide another way for that person to get help. I'm not saying, you shouldn't support people and such. What I'm saying is, don't feel like you have to, or there's like some kind of debt, or you're a bad person if you focus on what you're really called to do, rather than doing things out of a sense of obligation. Oh, yes. The card I picked today was Ishtar. Boundaries. Love yourself enough to say no to others' demands on your time and energy. Did I already do that? Okay, I hope not. The other thing is, oh yes, Rumi. I mentioned this in a blog post, but he said, one must give up 1,000 half loves to bring one whole heart home. So it's a beautiful way to illustrate the same point. If you want your heart's desire, if you want to make that child inside so happy, if you want to hold yourself with the utmost love and tenderness, you have to cherish that, and you have to save for it and give everything you have to that. And it means, it's like when you go to a buffet. When I go to a buffet, I will eat things I normally don't eat. I'll be like, oh, that looks kind of good, and that looks kind of good, and I don't want to waste money, so I just like fill up on all this stuff, and I usually don't feel that good afterwards, maybe overeat, and nothing is really great, and if it is, I just have a little bit of it because I'm trying everything else. Okay, the difference between that and then sitting in a restaurant and looking at the menu and ordering something that you think is going to be delicious, and then eating that and then being satisfied. Like, that's the way we want to live. Life just presents us with so many possibilities, and it's fucking amazing. But just because something's presented to you doesn't mean you need to take it on, and you want to at first because we're all experimenting and learning, what we really want and desire. But after a while, you don't want to keep doing that. When you know what you want, order that. And save your money for that thing that you think is the fucking best thing on the menu. Anyway, that's something I'm working on. And then the second insight is about, okay, so it's about accepting oneself. So the part of me that I've always wanted to fix was I have a really strong voice. I'm opinionated, and people have told me I'm like bossy, I come off as aggressive, maybe egotistical, and that sounds horrible, right? So I've really tried to tone it down, and just also, at a spiritual level, I understand that to be completely fluid, like water, to have no resistance, to be defenseless is the greatest strength, and I admire that, and I really wanted to be like that. I still do. But I realized today, through someone else's reflection, that it's because I don't fully accept myself, because I judge that part of myself, that there's resistance in the first place that other people feel. Like, when someone is really just expressing themselves, there's nothing wrong with being confident and having a strong voice, or fighting for what you believe in. There's nothing wrong with that. It's off-putting, and people resist it when there's something that's not, I don't know, pure in it, when it's coming from a place of like self-judgment or division. And another way I could talk about it is, so I have an older brother, and he's fucking amazing, and we have like opposite temperaments. He is more like that fluid water thing, he's like amazing to be around. It's just like healing just to listen to him. He doesn't judge people. He's just like goes with the flow. And I'm not like that usually. So what I realized was that, we have similar wounds. We grew up in the same family. We have similar wounds, and we just we kind of express them in different ways. So the way that he reacted to being wounded was to kind of like give up, and that fit the temperament he was also born with. It's like kind of more of a feminine way of engaging with the world. And so when that feminine way is wounded, it kind of is like almost too passive, right? And for me, the way that my kind of more naturally assertive personality reacted to feeling wounded was to try really hard, to like rise up and fight and feel like everything had to be efforted, and um, and a lot of this, I saw in my mother. Like, so my mother, my brother takes after more my mother's temperament, and she is naturally, she's very like him, like easygoing, naturally kind of happy, and just like very innocent and easygoing. But she had this overlay of this kind of like wounded masculine thing that made her kind of feel like she had to like prove herself and her worth. So yeah, she comes off as kind of harsh, like it's not safe for her to just relax and be like carefree and go with the flow. And what I got today is, I think if my brother really knew how powerful he was, kind of owned who he was, like saw himself with tenderness instead of maybe ways he judges himself, that he would be that flowing, amazing person, but also with a voice. It would be conscious, it would be flowing and defenseless because he knows his power, not necessarily just because there's feels like there's no point, in asserting yourself. And for me, if I just could fully accept who I am, like honor those parts, honor my temperament and who I am, which would mean being tender to myself, then that would actually, I'm hoping that is the way to, finally just be with others and myself in a way that doesn't create so much resistance, because I've let go of the resistance within myself. Yeah, instead of the way I had been going about it for so long, which is to try to like just balance it by, fixing myself. So, yes, accept who you are fully. Just accept who you are and honor yourself, and know that who you are is helping everyone around you to learn, even if you feel like you could be better or different. And in that acceptance, I feel like the very changes that you're desiring will just naturally occur. Thanks for listening.